Hello good people, let me take this opportunity to welcome you back to our channel, that's Brands Academy, where learning is made easy. If you haven't subscribed, do so please as we continue learning together. We are still learning about creative art and sports, grade 8 work. The strand is creating and performing. The substrand is rhythm. Under that one, today I want us to talk about writing rhythmic patterns on monotone from dictation. Writing rhythmic patterns on monotone from dictation. So let's go direct to our lesson without wasting further time. So you might be asking yourself what dictation is, because that's the keyword. On this part, we have two keywords. We have the monotone and dictation. So let me start with the dictation. Dictation, we're talking about the ability to listen to a rhythmic pattern and write it down correctly. Dictation, that ability of a learner to listen to a rhythmic pattern and write it down correctly. So there on that statement, what is rhythm? What is rhythm? So that's a question that you need to answer, and we'll answer it as we continue. So as we continue, ask yourself what is rhythm, because it's under dictation, that ability to listen to a rhythmic pattern and write it down correctly. So you find that writing a rhythmic pattern in monotone is writing a rhythmic pattern without pitch. Another word introduced there, pitch. So pitch is simply how high or low a sound is, the highness or the lowness of a sound when a rhythmic pattern is being performed. So that is pitch. Now here I have a sample of a rhythmic pattern written in 3/4 time. 3/4 time. Remember, it is a 4-bar rhythm. A 4-bar rhythm. So what can we say about the rhythm I have written here? Remember, we're talking about monotone under dictation. So here you find that the rhythm above has no pitch. Why? Because all notes are on one line and only shows the timing, not high or low sound. So you find that all the notes written here, they are on the one line. They are located on one line. So when you find notes which are written on one line on a musical stuff, you find that that rhythm is written in monotone. So when you are told to write a rhythm in monotone, make sure that the notes are written on one line. No note should be up or down on another. Remember, when it's up or down, we're talking about high or low. So that's what it means by writing rhythmic pattern on monotone from dictation. Remember, we have said dictation, you are listening to a rhythmic pattern and write it down correctly. Then monotone, we are writing that rhythm without pitch. So that's what we are supposed to do. Let's go to another part. So apart from that one, now let's now talk about techniques of composing a 4-bar rhythmic pattern in 3/4 time. Techniques of composing a 4-bar rhythmic pattern in 3/4 time. Remember, when you talk about 3/4 time, you might be asking yourself, what are you talking about here? We are talking about in each measure or in each bar, we must have 3 crochet beats. The top number represents the number of beats, and the bottom number, that one stands for the crochet. So the first technique we are going to use is using repetition of note values. Using repetition of note values. So it involves repeating a group of note values to create consistency and structure. Underline the word note values. You repeat the note values. We have a note and we have a value. For example, what's the value of a crochet? The value of a crochet is 1. What's the value of a minim? The value of a minim is 2, and the value of a semibreve is 4. So when you repeat a group of note values to create consistency and structure, the technique we'll be using is repetition of note values. Now, the method is called repetition. So, we have the theory questions. In case you are told to identify 2 techniques used in composing a 4-bar rhythmic pattern in 3/4 time, the first answer should be repetition of note values. Let's check on the example here. As you can see there, we have a good example. We have part A. So part A is the rhythm you have been given there. We have 3/4. The first bar we have 1 2 3, so that's 3. A second bar we have 1 2 3. So as you can see, let me take you to the part B of that bar. As you can see there, under part B, compare part A and part B. You find that it's just a repetition of part A. The note value in bar 1, they are the same note value in bar 1 in part A. Same to bar 4 in part A is the same as bar 4 in part B. So that's the repetition of the note value. You just take the way they are, you have been given there, just copy. We can say copy and paste, as simple as that. That technique is not hard. Let's go to the second technique. So the second technique and the last one is using variation of note values. Using variation of note values. So here we have an example. When you talk about variation of note values, you can use different note values. For example, we have crochet, we have minim, we have grouped quivers, we have the rest. So those are the note values. Variation, you vary. You don't use only one. You vary them, you mix them to come up with the number of notes that you need in that bar. If it's 3 4, you make sure that the note values you are varying in each bar will give you the exact number of notes that are needed in that bar. For example, when you check the first bar, we have been used the crotchets there. So we have 3 crochet in that bar. The second bar, we have varied there. We have grouped quiver and 2 crochets. When you check the third bar, there is also variation there. We have 4 grouped quivers and a rest for a crochet. So the note values there, they have been varied. When you check the last bar, we have the dotted minim. A minim has 2 value, then a dot, which is equivalent to a crochet, has 1 value. So that's the variation we are talking about. You use different note values which are varied. You vary, you mix them, but make sure you come up with the same result, considering the number of the time signature you have been given, 3 4. So that's the 2 techniques of composing a 4-bar rhythmic pattern. Remember, in the previous curriculum, before it was revised, we were talking about 4, but now after revision it was now shortened to 2. So let's not stick on the 4, let's stick on these 2. That's the end of our today's lesson. Be blessed. Remember to comment if the lesson has been interesting. If you have learned something, remember to comment there. If there's something you want us to touch on, also maybe you want us to elaborate on it, let me also know under the comment section. Remember to share to other groups, to your fellow learners, to your fellow teachers, so that we can learn this music part and be ready to handle it in our classes. Thank you, and may God bless you.